So it is certainly exciting, although pressure to talk to you about everything I want to share with you in 7 minutes. But I thought that the approach that I would take is to kind of paint for you the stories that I would write if I was talking about how implementation was going right now, very much coming from the work so closely with teachers, hearing from them, supporting them, and doing this work for the past 3+ years now. And so the title hopefully will be the thread that what teachers need right now is not sympathy, but support. And so really talking about this work of professional learning. And so my original idea was to put headlines, but headlines don't look very nice on slides, so they have graphics and that kind of thing. But imagine these as headlines. The first one being, Common Core learning is for everyone, not just the students. And so as teachers, as educators, we know what learning looks like. We imagine students talking to each other, challenging each other, deepening their understanding of things, reflecting, making adjustments. That's what this effort takes among the adults engaged in this work as well. That is actually the step that we skipped oftentimes in implementation. Are we giving teachers the environments in which to learn this effort rather than just handing them a book, the guidance? I connected so well to the things that John was talking about engaging in this work. And so places where this is happening well, principals are creating those conditions, that time, that support, that risky environment being supported of what it looks like to learn in this work of Common Core state standards. Accelerating support for teachers does not mean slowing down the work. And this is where that sympathy support issue comes in. This is hard work. This is challenging work. That is true. It is also urgent work. And so the idea of what teachers need most now is for us to accelerate the support. So thinking back to Tom's presentation this morning about it's not just the standards, what we need to be doing is connecting teachers with each other as they are doing to find out what are aligned curriculum and resource materials that we can be putting in the classroom. That takes acceleration of support. How do we provide information to teachers about what does aligned assessment practices look like? And really important to the work of teachers, those assessments aren't just those one-day shots, but the assessments that they are able to provide to their students on a regular basis, the things that they have control over. And also very important to this conversation is our teachers being supported with the kind of feedback that actually is aligned to the expectations of changes in practice that support this work. So we talk often about this idea of pausing, slowing down, and so on. I had the good fortune of working with some of the State Teachers of the Year a couple of weeks ago, and Jeff Baxter, who's the State Teacher of the Year in Kansas, was talking about in his school, the teachers all came together, the high school English teachers, to look at the curriculum, look at these standards expectations, and were told they had 3 years to implement. And his story was, those teachers looked at those standards and knew right away they weren't going to wait 3 years. This is about preparing kids for college and career readiness. There is an urgency to that, and they wanted to get involved. When I talk to teachers often, what they tell me is most stressful right now is living in two worlds. Teaching the old standards and the new standards, teaching the new standards being tested in the old standards. And so what I want us to imagine is what it would look like to actually accelerate this process with supports rather than what our instinct is telling us, which is just to slow down the work. Teachers need to be enrolled and not told. Teachers take ownership of this work. I work with hundreds of Common Core advocates in networks across the country. And these are teachers who are committed not just to understanding this work, but to the work that we're calling now instructional advocacy. As professionals, they are interested in not only supporting their colleagues in understanding this work, but in providing reviews of curriculum resources, sharing those resources, in providing feedback on the tools that are being developed to support this work. They are engaged in this very deeply, and as typically teachers do, on a voluntary basis, not because they want to meet the latest state mandate, timeline, agenda, and so on, but because they believe, as Dennis alluded to, that this is a professional opportunity that teachers have now to shape public education in this country. The teachers who are engaged in this work are excited about it because they understand the difference between just working hard, which our teachers are excellent at doing, and this idea of working hard at the things that we now have a strong evidence base for that support students in maximizing their opportunities. So teachers are doing this with incredible energy and incredible commitment all over the country. And I have lots of teacher stories and names that I can share with you about this. Finally, the superpower of teacher voice. We all know this is your claim of expertise. The power of when teachers can talk about the work itself is incredible. Professional learning is not something that we do to teachers or for teachers. Professional learning now, and Dave Common Core and the panel previously addressed this, is something that is happening right now in this room, thanks to social media and Twitter, and teachers are now finding the opportunities to share with each other on a regular basis. Here's a lesson I did, I posted up on Twitter, and I'm getting feedback not just from teachers in my school that are working on this, not just district, not just even within my state, but across states engaged in this work. They are shaping and giving feedback to publishers, affecting the marketplace, as well as their own practice on a regular basis. That is a powerful voice, and it is all of our responsibilities collectively to start listening to that voice in order to shape this in a powerful way. So I look forward to the stories of when we're really talking about what practitioners are doing and what they want, rather than just asking them to come to us and be the mouthpieces of this work, but that we start actually listening to them. Thank you.